Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey! Today I'm sharing over 20 DIYs. Summer isn't over yet. Before I fall into autumn, let's dive into these summer DIYs. I have 3 books here from the Dollar Tree, and I am painting them in my Rust-Oleum linen white. I give them 2 coats, and I'm going to stack them on top of each other. So I have my hot glue and my E6000. And I'm just going to lay them on top of each other. I didn't paint the book all the way around because it was in the middle and no one's going to see it. I had printed off a saying, "She who plants a garden plants happiness." And I printed it right from my printer, and I wrote on the back of the paper, tracing out the letters, and now I'm going over it with another pencil so it transfers the pencil onto the books. Although it's a little light, so I did have to go over it, and I wrote everything out so I can see where I'm going to be writing. And this is just a Sharpie in gold. Maybe it's copper. I'm not sure. I thought this was going to be a better idea than using paint, and I really like it. It's very light and it doesn't run, and it was quick to dry. I'm thinking of you. I'm using that 𝚤𝚕𝚎𝚘𝚜 collage paper that I used on my previous stool project, which I'll put in the description if you haven't seen that. But all you do is lay the Mod Podge down pretty thick, and it actually doesn't even have to be thick, but that's how I did it. And then I just rubbed the paper over it, and then I Mod Podged it again. I didn't let it dry. I just did it while it was fresh, and I do it for just random spots on the books. I thought it was going to be super cute. I thought it would match the saying. And the paper I had gotten from 𝚤𝚕𝚎𝚘, it came with 3 different designs. So I thought this was going to be a perfect design. And now I'm layering it right here on the 3 books. So I take my knife and I just cut it so it looks like it was meant individually for each book, if that makes sense. But I think it came out so cute and super simple. And you don't even have to put the Mod Podge underneath it. Like if you miss a spot, you just have to use a lot of Mod Podge on top of it. And this paper is super thin, so you definitely want to be gentle with your fingers. I felt like I was missing something here, so I did another little flower, and again just cut around the books to make it look like it was meant for each individual book. And I just love this project so much. I think it came out so sweet. I go through and I do Mod Podge on everything. I went heavy on it just to make sure there was going to be no problems. I do go and hot glue the pages inside just to make sure that nothing moves. But how sweet is this? Oh my goodness. I love that Sharpie with the flowers. I think it is just so perfect. So this was a canister I had gotten from a thrift store, and I spray painted it gray out in my garage, thinking I was going to do something else, and then I never did anything with it. So now I am doing something with it, and you're going to see. So cute. I'm just painting it with my chalk paint in linen white. I do 2 coats, and then I have my IOD stamps. And I take a piece of cardstock and I put it on the cardstock, and then I do the stamp, and then I roll it around. That cardstock gives me a little bit more security while I'm going through, I think. If you have a better way of doing it, let me know, but that's how I do it, and it works. Now I'm going through with my baby wipe, and I am just distressing this. You guys know me and distressing. I am still getting my hands in there. I'm trying different things, and I think I'm doing a pretty good job. And now I'm just going to throw in some lavender and some eucalyptus. And that's it, guys. That was seriously so simple, and look how pretty this is. Oh my goodness, that stamp is everything. I love this so much. Now I spray painted a planter out in my yard and I used antique white, and now I'm going through with my folk art in aqua, and I'm just going through right on the lip of the planter. I didn't paint inside the planter because I want to use real plants and I wasn't sure what the plants would do with paint. So if you guys know, let me know in the comments if I could have done that. But here I am, again, using that Tim Holtz paper. So I put down the Mod Podge, and when I cut it, it was kind of long, so I cut it in half, and I thought maybe if I worked in smaller pieces, it would be easier. So once I lay it down, I just smooth it out with my fingers, and then I go through for the second part. Now I'm gonna try to match up the seams here. Let's see if my fingers can do this. I was a little worried, but I got it. And again, I just laid it down, and I started at one part, and then I used my fingers and smoothed out the rest, so that way I would reduce the amount of wrinkles that I had, because this paper is very thin and it does wrinkle pretty easily. And then I do Mod Podge over it after. So now we're going to do the other side, and this time I cut it in 3 different spots, thinking that was going to be a little easier, and it wasn't super hard, but it wasn't super easy either, so it is what it is. And I just lined it up, and I am in love with this paper. The one I used on my earlier project had some color. This one is very muted, and it's just blacks and whites and a little bit of grays, and I thought this would be perfect with the teal, well, aqua, and I just love this so much. I plan on giving this, I got this from my grandmother, and I plan on giving it back to my grandmother now that it's all done up. And I can't wait. I'm going to put some real flowers in it for Mother's Day. I didn't do that yet because I don't want them dying. You guys know I cannot keep plants alive. So for right now, there are some fake flowers in it, holding the spot for when I pick out some real flowers for Mother's Day for my grandma. But I just love this project. I'm peeling off the tape now, and everything came together so sweet. I just love the aqua, and I love that black and white. I think it is just so darling. Like, I'm obsessed. I just love it so much. I can't wait to keep using this paper on like everything. And like I said, there's so many different styles. I have 3 different patterns. So this was a Dollar Tree bag, and I'm going to do a reverse frame. So you remember, we take the canvas off the frame, and I'm cutting it down to use the canvas for after. If you haven't seen my reverse frames before, I do a lot of these. I really enjoy them. I think it's just something a little different, something to use with the canvases that you can get at the dollar store. And again, this was a bag I had saw at the dollar store. I thought it was going to be super cute, super farmhouse. Now I'm going to go through and paint the wood, and I use Flag Red from Apple Barrel. And then I'm going to dry brush a little bit of Waverly's plaster on it. I thought this would give it a little bit of definition, a little dimension, and I just love it so much. I'm sure there's more than one way of making a reverse canvas, but this is how I do it. I lay out my fabric, and then I hot glue it where I feel like I need it. I don't do it everywhere, just where I feel like I need it for security. And then I lay down that canvas that I had cut out from before, and then I staple it right to the wood. And then I do add a little hanger on the back, not seen here. And I also painted the whole frame, back and front, because I'm going to give this as a gift. And look how sweet that is. Super farmhouse, super adorable. So this is just one of those boxes from the dollar store. I've used these in previous projects, and I think they're super sweet, and they take paint very well. So I use my linen white in this, and then I just have some twine, and I am cutting it, wrapping it around the edges, and cutting off the excess. I'm going to be making a hanging planter. I've never done one of these before. It's a little trial and error here, and I definitely wanted to hot glue it so it wasn't going anywhere. Again, trial and error. I wasn't sure what to do with this. I wanted to make a loop so I could hang this. So I just looped one part of the twine because there's 4 ends of it. And then I made like a little knot around the loop that I made, if that makes sense. And you can kind of see what my fingers are stumbling around here doing. If you have any advice on doing a hanging planter, please let me know in the comments. It came out nice, but I definitely want to make more. And I feel like this might have been a little tedious. So now I take all the ends of the other twine, like I said, there's 4 pieces, and I just wrap it around, I guess to give it like more security, but also to make it cute. And then I just hot glue it whenever I feel like I'm ready to put it down. I have neuropathy, so don't worry about my fingers, but for you guys who don't have neuropathy, definitely put on those little heat protectors and protect your fingers.
I'm thinking of you.
And then I use a little bit of fire and just get off all the little scraggly pieces. I'm sure there's a name for that, but we'll just say that. And now I'm just putting in the flowers. I didn't hot glue them so that way I can change them out for like maybe holidays or different seasons. And I just think these are super cute. Again, thrifted flowers. Look how sweet that is. Oh my goodness. I just love this so much. Space. These are some rain boots I had gotten from a thrift store. Now, I have done this project with real flowers before, but I definitely wanted to try it with some fake flowers. I picked some white ones and some blue ones in different sizes and different heights. I thought it was going to look really nice, and I had no idea what I was doing, so I decided just to hot glue it right to the boot. And I think it came out great, but if you have any advice on how to do this, if I did it wrong, please let me know in the comments. But like I said, this was my first time and it came out just fine. And I wanted to have the buckle showing on the outside, so I tried to layer the flowers that way. I love these rain boot planters, and if you were to buy them online or in stores, like, they are so expensive. Like I said, I got these boots from a thrift store for like $6. You could use boots that are all beat up, or maybe boots that your kids have grown out of, or if you happen to find boots on the side of the road. I do go and do the exact same thing for the second boot. You could do it with just one boot, but I wanted to do it for both, and I think it came out super cute. I did try to hot glue them together, and that didn't really work, so I just threw them out like that, and I hope the wind doesn't take them. They are super cute. I love how they look. I just think they are so sweet and so easy. You could fill up the boot if you wanted to, but I think it's cute as is. This was super simple and super adorable. I had gotten these candle holders from a thrift store, and then I picked out some flowers that I wanted to use, and some herbs, and some brown paper, and some twine. Now I start just by getting all the flowers ready. I started to cut them and realized I could just pull them off, and this is just a little bit of baby's breath. Again, nothing really matched or went together. I just found some flowers. I had some singles, and I thought all white would look really nice with the green and the brown paper and that gold. And I do end up taking the little plastic piece off the end of those flowers, so everything's kind of the same size. But it really doesn't matter. It's however you want your flowers to look. Now, this herb arrangement I had gotten from Michael's. I had gotten it 50% off, 40% off, and I've already used it for 3 different projects, and I still have tons left over. So definitely well worth it. Now, these are some rectangles I cut out of just regular brown craft paper, and I'm just laying out the flowers, and I tucked it up first and then I rolled around the edges, kind of like a baby wrap, and then I hot glued it onto the back just so it would stay still. My idea is to stick it into the candle holder holes on the candle holder. And I just glued some of the flowers if they seemed like they were a little loose. I only did that on a few of them because most of them I wrapped up pretty tightly. And then I go through with a little bit of twine and I just make a little simple sweet bow, and I thought it was just the perfect addition. You don't have to do this. You could do ribbon. You could leave it. I just think it looks super cute like that. Some of them didn't fit into the candle holder, so I did have to go through and hot glue the actual flower arrangement to my candle holder, and it held and it worked just fine. Now I go through and I do this for all 6 of them. There's 6 candle holders. So I made 6 different flower arrangements all the same way, tucking up the middle first and then wrapping the sides just like you would a newborn swaddle. I am in love with how these came out. I love the flowers. I love the gold. I love the brown paper. I think it just looks so simple, but so pretty. It is just perfect for any spring decor. My sister had given me years ago. I took off that pink fabric and I painted the legs in my chalk paint linen white after I primed it. I've never used this paper before, but this is Tim Holtz collage paper. It's very thin, like tissue paper, and you're going to Mod Podge this on. Well, at least that's what I did. I cut these off to go on the legs that I had painted white, and I cut them in all these little pieces, but I really needed a lot of them. Now I'm just going on each leg. I put some Mod Podge down first, and then I put the paper right over that Mod Podge, and I smooth it out with my fingers, and then I just keep going with the Mod Podge and my brush, and I rub it down, I smooth it with my finger, and I just keep going all the way around. I do it on the bottom of the paper, and then I also do it on the top of the paper. I go and do this for all of them. So some of them were a little easier than others, only because how I cut it. I think if I had cut them all bigger, it would have been easier. So the smaller ones seem to want to rip a little bit or just not fit very great. So definitely next time I'm going to do bigger chunks of paper instead of cutting them so small. All in all, this paper was super easy to use and it was so pretty, and I ordered 3 different designs, so I cannot wait to try them all. Once I was done with all the placement of the paper, I did go through and I Mod Podge over the entire thing. So all 4 legs, I just went through and Mod Podged everything. I'm definitely not a seamstress. I am very new to this. I've done it on a couple of cushions, but here I am with my canvas, and I just stapled down along the bottom, and then I tucked the extra around the legs. I had originally cleaned it all up, I had taken all the tacks out, and I went to Joann Fabrics and I found the exact same tacks. So here's my husband, he's helping me out. You guys know how I am with hammers, not the best. So I showed him where I wanted them and he helped me out, and I think these gave it such a cute little detail, and I'm so glad that I ended up going this route with the tacks. I think it is super cute. I think I did pretty well for probably like my 5th upholstering job. But like I said, I'm not a seamstress, but it came out so cute, and I think it is just so perfect, and I'm putting it on my deck as a little spot to sit down to take off your boots. And there it is outside, and I think it is just perfect. Actually is a quick outdoor update. No video. I just took that old chair I had and I gave it some new life. I spray painted it with my favorite Rust-Oleum heirloom white. I gave it about 3 to 4 coats. I did both chairs, and then I went to the store and I got some cute cushions. So here I am, I'm just cleaning up my deck. I had sprayed it down a little bit. I have a wraparound deck, and right here I am just doing the front. And you're gonna see I am just laying everything out. These cushions are super cute. I wanted a shabby chic kind of vintage feel, and I'm definitely getting there. I'm not there yet, but next video you guys will see I have some more updates, and I think they are super cute and super easy. Anybody can do this. And I just love how everything is coming together. I have some of my old decorations, and I'm just laying it out where I think it looks cute. And of course my harpoon, because we're nautical. Why not have a harpoon? Down in the comments, please let me know your favorite DIY today. So my first inspiration was $83, and I spent $7. So I got these arrows from the dollar store, and you can see I have a bunch of different paint colors here. I'm using a baby wipe, and I'm doing like a paint wash. I guess that's the name. I don't know, like a whitewash, but with paint in different colors. So I do a little bit of everything. I do a little bit with a baby wipe and a little bit with a brush, and I'm using ocean and the color pool, agave, and mineral, and I'm just doing it whichever way. I want it to look sporadic and very beachy and distressed. So now I had printed out my favorite saying off of my Cameo, and I'm just laying it out onto the arrows, and I had no set way of doing it. They weren't all going to go a certain way, but I knew this little one here was going to hang, so I kept the holes in that one. And I'm just laying them out where I think they look good. And now I'm going to go through with my Mod Podge. I'm going to go right over the entire stencil first. And now I'm going to go through, and I used the darker color ocean. So I didn't use ocean on any of the arrows. So I'm using this color for every arrow for the letters. You do want to make sure that you rub out any of the wrinkles or air pockets before you start. And also make sure you don't have too much paint on your brush, or you'll definitely get some bleed through. Now I have my heat gun, and I'm just heating up the vinyl before I pull it up. Now there's not too much paint on the arrows, so I'm not really worried about peeling up paint, and if I do peel it up, it's okay because I want it to look distressed anyways. Now I'm going through and I'm weeding out all the letters. I think this is coming out so adorable. I sand down the edges a little bit just so nothing is raised up, and I'm just trying to get a good layout here. And these are 2 painter's sticks from Walmart, so they're a little bit longer, but I need it even longer. So that was just some wood glue and some hot glue making it a little bit longer. and I painted it in my Rust-Oleum linen white, and I didn't go heavy on the paint, just made it, you know, very beachy. So this is Gorilla Wood Glue, and I'm going to be using this to hold down the arrows and a little bit of hot glue. And this is my new hot glue gun that I got, and it is amazing. I have the link down in the description if you want to take a peek at it. It was really good price, like $23, and it has 2 temps to it. It is great. So that was just a little pin that I put in. I needed a little bit of hammer action, which is always scary. So I put a little bit of twine on the back of this arrow. I did have a couple of different pictures for inspiration. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but you can see where I went with it. And I made this for $7 and not $83. It is so adorable and so coastal for my house. I love it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We do a lot of Dollar Tree crafts, DIY, gifts and decor, thrift flipping, and more. If you like these kind of videos, please consider subscribing. To all my returning friends and subscribers, thank you. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. Spent $15 on both of those. I had gotten them at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. I went out to my garage and I spray painted it down. I primed it first with spray paint, and then I used just a plain regular white spray paint. And this is how I make my enamel wear look. I saw this once on somebody else's video, and please don't ask me who it was because I cannot remember for the life of me, and I am so sorry for that. But I've been doing it ever since, and this is literally the easiest thing. So I take my stamp pad and I just roll it right around the entire edge. I do this for like so many different things. It works so good. As you can see though, my stamp pad is dying. So I went through with my paint pen and I just freshened it up, and that took a little bit of time because I had to flip it over and flip it back up, but I think it came out so cute. And for $15 for 2 of these, oh my goodness, I am so ready for tiered action now. And I have a challenge coming up to make tiered items, so I am super excited. Look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. Is $125. I made it for $1. Okay, so granted that one was 5 feet tall. Mine is like a little bit under a foot. These are just from the dollar store. They are the ironing board little signs. I cleaned it up and I'm filling in the holes right now because I am going to use it as a surfboard. So I do not need a hole. I am painting it in agave. I'm not painting the whole thing. I just wanted that middle part, but you'll see as we go, I do go and do the sides just so it has that finished look. I do add brown paper to the back of all my projects. That way it's completely finished. So now I am doing some Mod Podge, and I have this pretty paper. I had gotten this at Michael's. They had buy one, get 2 free, and I got so much paper, and this one was one of them. It's all garden themed, and it is just so pretty. So I'm just Mod Podging it to the sides here. I thought it looked very Hawaiian, and I thought it was just very pretty, and I thought it would go well with this board. And then I cut off because it wasn't long enough, so I added 2 little end pieces over here, and I try to match it up as best as I could. You can still see it a little bit, but it's not too bad. And I just throw it right on top there. And then I take a razor blade, I clean it up a little bit. I don't add the brown paper until I'm done with the entire project. That way I don't mess up the brown paper too. Now I had printed this off my Cameo, Aloha. I wish I printed it in a linear fashion because transferring it onto this board was like super awful. I don't know what it was. It was just so annoying. So I got it all on. It's there. It's okay. I think it is so cute. And I used the Mod Podge again. I put it right over the stencil because I'm going to be stenciling this. And now I'm going through with Folk Art in Moon Yellow. This is such a pretty color. My only concern was it was a little light. I thought it was going to come out a little bit thicker, and it took like 4 coats and it was still kind of see-through. But I did it. It came out so cute, and I used my heat gun before I peel up the vinyl. I think all these colors came out so nice, and I'm obsessed with that flower in the middle instead of the O. I just think it is so cute. And this is just adorable. You could give this as a gift for somebody. Just, throw it in their little gift basket, or just give it to them as a little thank you. Maybe if they're not feeling well, give it to them with a little card. It's just a cute little present you can give to somebody, or just a cute decor item to stick in literally any room. So cute, and only $1. Down in the description, let me know which project is your favorite today. My next project was a little bit of a boo-boo. So here it is, my inspiration, $55. Mine cost $2.50. So I got the boxes from my thrift store clean out I did with my husband, so they were free. And I used my wood glue and some hot glue, and I'm gonna put them together to make that longer bathroom box that you saw as my inspiration. So like I said, I made a little boo-boo, but I still wanted to show you guys because the project did come out pretty cute. So I just pushed this together, and I'm using some wood filler, and I'm filling in that crease, and I do it on all 4 sides. And this wasn't very level, so I had a little bit of difficulty here. And I had brought it out to my garage, I sanded it down, I spray painted it with some primer, and then I painted the whole thing in my linen white. Now I have that pretty paper from before, a different pattern, and I cut it to fit inside the box, and I'm just putting it on all the sides of the box. I Mod Podge the bottom, and then I Mod Podge the top. And now this is where the blender comes in. So I printed out all these great words, the Frazado families, bathroom rules, wash, brush, floss, flush. I make them off of my pick collage, and then I transfer it to my silhouette, and then I print it out. You could probably find a stencil for this, but I like to make it in my own fonts. So I started stenciling it, and then realized I wanted to Mod Podge it. And then I go through and I stencil it all again now, and for some reason nothing stuck. It all ripped off. See? Awful. I gotta sand the whole thing down. But this is what I wanted to show you. So here's these adorable handles. This is what I spent money on, $2.50, and I just put them both on each end, and I am still gonna use it. It came out so cute. Look it, even without the words, it's adorable and it's functional. I am in love with this. Look how adorable that is. Oh my goodness, I've been needing one of these in my bathroom for so long, so I am so happy. $69. Wow, my goodness, that laundry sign does not need to be $69. I made mine for $2. I'm trying something new here. I painted this in ink chalk paint, and now I'm taking Vaseline. I've seen this done on wood projects, but I never did it on this like little, flimsy kind of sign stuff, but I wanted to try it. So I just did it wherever I felt I needed to, and then I did 2 coats of my linen white chalk paint. And my goodness, I don't even know how to explain it. It wasn't awful, but you can see I'm having difficulty rubbing it off, and I thought it was going to be a little bit easier. My baby wipe kept ripping, and I was making quite a mess. It definitely wasn't how I thought. So then I tried to sand it. That didn't work. Then I got some old rags, and I really had to push hard. And at this point, I'm looking at it wondering what is going on. It just looks like this awful frame. It's so ugly. And then I'm like, okay, it's working, yay. But now it's like everything's coming off. Oh my God, like why is this doing this? So then I went through and I just added a little bit more white paint. I don't know what I did wrong with the Vaseline, but it worked, just maybe a little too much. So anyways, I put this paint down and I think it looks so adorable now. I definitely will do this again. So this is just one of those dollar store Klingons for the walls. It was too big, so I just cut it out a little bit so I could try to finagle it a little bit better. And I'm just laying it out, and I do have a little bit of ends I have to cut off here and there. And then I just put the words underneath, and I try to line it up the best I can. And that's it. Seriously, so easy. $2. Mod Podge it. Add a little hanger. It is so easy, so quick, and super cute. And now I'm happy I tried my Vaseline. I'm definitely going to try it on a real wood project now, though, and not little dollar store sign. So $69 and $2. Wow. I just love this so much. I don't even have words because it is just so adorable. Here I have a Dollar Tree sign. I took off that word laundry and I painted this in Waverly plaster. I'm scraping off some of the extra paint just to start giving it that distressed look. And these are transfers that I just got. This is my first time trying it and I'm so excited. I love these. You lay them down and then you rub the heck out of them and then you peel them up. It is that simple and they are so beautiful. I'm gonna put the link down in my description. I got them off of scrapbook.com. I am totally in love with these, almost as much as my Tim Holtz paper. So that's a lot. And I just love how this came out. I'm distressing the edges now and I'm doing that plaster. And I had no rhyme or reason, just going on and rubbing it off where I thought I had too much. And then I put down a little bit of Mod Podge, and that is it, guys. This came out so pretty and so sweet. I love this so much. And for a Dollar Tree sign, yes please. Staying with the theme here, vintage garden. This is a tag from the dollar store. I painted it in that same plaster paint and distressing it with my antique wax. Another one of these transfers here. I might be becoming obsessed. They are so simple to use and so pretty. You have to give it a nice rub down with something hard. And then the peel up is so simple, and then you just seal it with whatever your favorite sealer is. I like Mod Podge. It's easy and versatile. How adorable is that? Oh my goodness. Let me know down in the comments what you think. How cute is this? Oh, I think it's one of my favorites. This one is super easy and super quick and super adorable. This is a $1 palette and some of the little planters that come in a 3-pack. I'm only using 2. First, I'm going to hot glue some wooden beads right to the bottom to give it a little bit of a riser effect. If you're going to do this, I suggest painting it ahead of time, but I do things a little backwards. I'm going through with a baby wipe and my antique wax, and I'm just giving it a good once over on every part of it. And then I'm going to go through after and use that same plaster, and I'm going to dry brush it on. Some parts I did a little heavier than others, and that's okay. It was going with my vintage garden theme. And these flowers I had gotten at the thrift store for $3.99. You've seen me use them before. They are so pretty. And you could use whatever flowers you want. Cut them down to size just so they stick out of that planter a little bit. And this is some brown paper I just crumpled up to make it be as a filler and almost like dirt, I guess. And I wrapped the flower and then I stuck it into the little planter there. And then I had a little bit of hot glue, and then of course my love-hate relationship with Spanish moss, and I just used that as a little bit of a filler just to give it that vintage look again. And I am in love with these roses. I think they are so pretty, like I can smell them. That's how much they look real. I love them. And this is a little bit of twine to go around the edge just to give it a little something, a little extra just to add to that romantic kind of vintage flair that I was going for. And I did make some little bows, not seen on camera, but I made 2 of them, 1 for each planter, and I think they are so adorable. I am literally obsessed with everything in this whole project, but I love this so much. I think it is so sweet. This is probably the easiest. So this I had already painted years ago with chalkboard paint. I removed the old ribbon and I added some new ribbon just to add that little vintage romantic flair again. And it wasn't to be functional, just to be cute. And I wrote right on it, free-handed, free dirt. And then I literally filled it up with dirt. I don't know if this goes with the tiered theme or not, but I thought it was cute, and I don't know. I just think it's adorable, a little extra something to add to it. This is another super simple project. I get these wreaths right off of Amazon. I'll put the link down in my description. It comes in a whole bag, and then I just pulled off the tips of some flowers, and I'm hot gluing them right to the wreath form. That is literally it. It is so simple. Anybody can do this, and you can do whatever flowers you want. I just thought this was going to be sweet, and they are little flowers so they don't overwhelm the wreath because it is pretty small. And that's it. How sweet is that? How simple is it? Oh my goodness, so quick and easy, and it just adds that little bit of flair, a little bit of color. I am totally in love with it. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just hung it there in the corner. Super cute. This is so adorable. These are Dollar Tree books, and I spray painted them in an antique white. And this is a good way, if you don't have a Cameo, you take a tissue and tape it to your printer paper, just a regular printer paper if you have a printer. And you tape down all the edges so nothing will get caught in your printer, and then just print whatever you want. It's that simple. Cut it off while it's still on the paper. That way I have a little bit more control of it and it doesn't rip off when I'm trying to cut it. These are going to be the titles to my books, and I am laying it down and I'm Mod Podging it right to the book, and I just very lightly tap it down, smooth it out, and then I do a layer of Mod Podge over the top just to secure it down. This did pull up a little bit, so I'm going to show you what I did here with the bigger one, flowers. So this one I did the same thing, Mod Podge first, lay it down, but it was ripping like I said, so I have a little baggie. You could use saran wrap, but I had a baggie, so I just laid the baggie down and used my fingers to smooth it out, and it worked perfect. You're going to want to go in with another layer of Mod Podge to secure it down. And now I'm just dry brushing again with that antique wax. I'm using the same colors for the whole project, and I'm going through the entire book and giving it that distressed old vintage look. Normally I use 𝚕𝚎𝚎𝚜, but today I just did hot glue and it seems to be holding up just fine. I've explained in the past how to make a bow, so I'm going to link that in my description, but this is just some burlap wired ribbon that I hot glued into loops. I lay them down how I want them, and I cut little slits inside of it so that way I can wrap it tight with the wire. Again, I'm going to put the link for a slower, more detailed version of making this bow down in my description. And you want to make a little tail and then use that same wire and twist your tail right onto the back of this bow. Cut up the extra pieces of wire, and I hot glued a different ribbon to make the center. I'm going to use that same ribbon on the book so it all matches. You don't have to, but I dovetailed this just to give it a little bit something extra to it. I think it's super sweet. I think it goes with my theme. And now I am just taking my ribbon and I'm hot gluing it right to the books. Some people wrap their books. I like this. I thought this was going to be cute. And then I hot glued the bow right to the top of the book. How adorable is that? Oh my goodness. I'm in love with it. Flowers, the language of love. I think that is so cute and very fitting for my vintage garden tier tray. Now this is adorable. This is a dollar box and some dollar little bins that you can find in the wedding department of Dollar Tree. I painted it with the same colors, the plaster and Waverly paint and my antique wax, and I'm gonna give it a good old distressing with just dry brushing it. And I think this is super cute. I have to say, I think my dry brushing is definitely improving, so let me know down in the comments what you think. These little boxes are super cute, and you could stencil on them. You could make out letters from your Cameo or use some stencils from the dollar store. I did do all 4 sides because this is going in a tiered tray, and you can see that at almost every angle. The same piece of tissue I had printed out Flower Shop. I'm doing the same thing I did before, cutting it out while it's on the paper just to give it a little bit more security while I'm cutting it. And I suggest not doing this when you have a fan on. And so I just did some Mod Podge, and I'm doing the same exact thing, holding it down very lightly with my fingers and doing a layer of Mod Podge just to secure it down. I did use a little razor blade just to cut through those little lines. Now these white little buckets you can find in the wedding decoration department. They come, I think, 2 or 3 to a pack. Super cute. And I just went through and I cut off the flowers, and then I realized I could just pull them off. And then I took them and just filled up the buckets, no hot glue, just filling them up to make them look like a little bushel you would see at a garden store. I think this is so darling. It is literally the cutest thing in the entire world. I am so excited that I did this challenge. Wasn't sure if I could handle these small items, and I totally did it. This first project is probably my favorite. I am totally in love with it. I took 6 Dollar Tree boxes and I glued them together. So I used a combination of wood glue and hot glue. And I didn't do too much glue, just enough. And then I pushed them together, and I do this for all 6 of them. Now, if I was to do this again, I would have done the 3 bottom ones and then the 3 top ones separately and then put them together. And you can see what I did here, and it's a little uneven, so that's why I'm suggesting that for you guys. Then I went out to my garage and I spray painted this box in Kills Chalk Paint Juniper Blue, and I love this color. I'm Mod Podging this and laying down some napkins. My father-in-law got me these awesome napkins. They are so pretty and definitely shabby chic. And then I do another layer of Mod Podge on it. Now here I'm gonna go a little faster, only because I recorded it in time lapse. So here I just do some Mod Podge again, a nice generous coat of it, and then I lay the napkin down. You want to make sure that it's a single ply napkin. That way you get the best adherence. If you do a 2-ply napkin, the top piece of the napkin is just going to pull up. So always do a 1-ply and then cover it with your Mod Podge after. And I just love this design. It is so pretty. I never even asked him where he found these napkins. I just love them so much. He gave me some placemats, the napkins, and some paper plates, and I just think they are so shabby chic and adorable. And you guys know I definitely use these designs when I do my different papers, so I totally love this, and I think this is so cute for this box. Again, it's gonna be a little box with 6 different cubbies. After it's dry, I do take some sandpaper and I rub down. You can see what I'm doing, but I rub down away from the paper, and that just takes away the extra paper and it gives it a nice clean finish. You don't need to use a razor blade or scissors. I think this is the best way. And then you can just sand it off so that way you have a nice even edge. Then you're going to see I use my higher grit sandpaper to go over the entire box just to smooth it out. I had painted the drawers in a Rust-Oleum rose gold metallic finish. So here they are, and then I drilled holes in the front, and this is so I can put little drawer knobs on. So I had gone to the store looking for drawer knobs. I found a pack of 6. They're super pretty. So here I am going through the hole that's already there just to give that nail somewhere to go. And look at those guys. I just turned them on and they are so adorable. Oh my goodness. I just love the colors. I love the paper. Everything is so sweet. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Project is a small wood round I got from the dollar store, and I've only seen these just recently, so I clean everything off of it and I'm gonna give it a nice coat of plaster paint. This is a Waverly plaid product, and then I go through with that same tissue paper that I had for my first project, and I just cut out how much I needed, and I use a generous amount of Mod Podge, and I lay the tissue right over it. I started smoothing it, and then I decided to use my roller to get the best adherence, and then I do another layer of Mod Podge over the top. Once that was dry, I did the same thing I did last time. I used my sandpaper and I just went around the edges and I sanded away from it. I tried to use this little block I got. It didn't work, so I went back to my sandpaper, and I like doing this. It doesn't mess up the project, but it does get the paper off. And then I just did a little bit of roughing around the top just to smooth everything out. And I went to my Cameo and I printed out a mermaid and I used it as a stencil, and I actually used the mermaid part that I peeled off on my laptop. So, you know, I love function. So this is just a little bit of Mod Podge. This just reduces the bleed through, and I'm going through with my Folk Art and Fire Coral. I love this color. I do 2 coats of this and I let it dry. I am in love with this color. It is perfect for spring or summer. It is just so pretty. And then I use my heat gun to pull this off. You can see that I have a little bit of difficulty. This is really on there, but I wanted to go slow because I didn't want to rip that tissue paper. Even though I used Mod Podge, I still was worried it could have ripped, and it did a little bit, but it wasn't that noticeable, so I just smoothed it down. But I'm just pulling all the vinyl up, and that is it. How sweet is that? Oh my goodness, it is so sweet. So I did go through with a lower grit sandpaper, and I'm just trying to rough it up a little bit more. This is actually for my sander, and I just wanted it to have that vintage kind of feel to it. And then I have that plaster again, and I have a little chippy brush, and I'm just going around the edges, and I'm doing a little bit of dry brushing. And then anytime I feel like I did too much, I just rub it with my finger, and I wasn't looking for any kind of perfection. I really just wanted to have that vintage feel to it, and I didn't want to use any kind of browns or blacks because of the color scheme. And I think this is so sweet and just so adorable. I really love this. I think it is so cute. You could do whatever tissue you wanted and whatever stencil you wanted. This is just what I like for my taste. And then I just take a piece of twine and I loop it through, and I just make a little knot so you could hang this. And I cut off the ends, and that's it. How adorable is this? Oh my goodness. I love the fire coral mixed with that tissue paper. I think it is so sweet. I am totally in love with this. Could be my favorite. This next project is a glass votive holder and a candle holder. And this is from the dollar store. Super cute, and I'm gonna glue it. And I haven't had the best luck gluing glass together, so I have a bunch of glue here, and I'm just gonna do all of it and hope for the best. So I have a little bit of wood glue here, and I just kind of put it a little bit everywhere. I have a little bit of my seashell glue and my E6000, and I put everything on there, and then I just clean up any drips, and then I put the other glass right on top, and then I put a heavy jar on top. After it dried, I spray painted it in that Rust-Oleum metallic rose gold, and now I'm dry brushing plaster. And that's it. That's all I did to this. This was so simple, so easy, so cute, and I love this rose gold metallic spray paint. It did such a good job, and I thought it maybe was a little too shiny for that shabby chic look, so that's why I went through with the dry brushing. In dry brushing, you just put a little bit on the bottom of your brush and then blot a lot of it off, and then just go lightly and quick. And I went over the entire thing, no rhyme or reason. I tried to keep my strokes all going the same direction, and that was just a preference on my part. You could do whatever you wanted, but you just want to make sure there's not too much paint on it, or you're going to get like an actual brush stroke of paint. And this is so sweet. You could do this for a riser, for anything, for more decoration or an actual candle. And I just think this is so sweet. I love that little homemade part on the front, and I am so happy that the glue worked. If you were in my live on Saturday, you know that I have not had good luck with glass and glue, but I did today. This next project doesn't exactly have a name or a style. I needed some decoration for my son's graduation birthday party, so I have one of these Dollar Tree kid painting kits. I flipped it over and I painted it in my plaster chalk paint, and then I took a pencil and I just lined it up like the other side, and then used a gold paint pen, and this is just to give the illusion of it still being a fish dish. And then I went to my Cameo and I printed off 18 because he's 18, and I'm trying to stay with the same colors. I put it right down. This is where you could put whatever you wanted, a little saying or a picture. I hot glued some blocks to the back because I didn't want this hanging. You could hang it if you wanted to, but I wanted it to stand up. I used 4 little blocks, and if you had Jenga blocks, I think you could just use like 2. And then I have a bunch of these flowers. You guys have seen me use them. They're from Michael's. I love these flowers. I think they're super cute, and I think it would go perfect for his 18th birthday party. And I'm just hot gluing it right down. This is again where you could use any colors that you wanted, anything to go with your little picture of from your Cameo. So this is definitely something you could design for however you wanted it. I just think this is super cute. I love all these colors, the blues and the golds. The paper I use, oh sorry, it's not even paper, it's vinyl. It's the metallic vinyl. So it's a little thicker and not the easiest to use for transferring onto objects. And then I'm just using a gold metallic paint from Folk Art, and I'm dry brushing it just to give it a little extra something something, just so that way you know that it's a little distressed, it's a little old, it's a little shabby chic, and I love it. Oh my goodness, this is so darling. I am obsessed with this. I love the flowers, I love the colors, I love everything about this. Let me know in the comments what you like, if you would have done the same thing and what you would have done differently. So this is another item from the Dollar Tree. I had seen this in the candle section, and it's just some decor, and it's not the cutest, but that's okay because we're going to transform it. So I painted it in that plaster, and now I am taping off with some painter's tape some lines. I do use a little thinner piece of masking tape in between just to give it some different sizes. And then I just keep going all the way up. And I'm going to take this outside and I'm gonna spray paint it, and I did it the same color I've been using this whole time. It's that Rust-Oleum rose gold metallic. I'm peeling up the tape. I do go through and I freshen up any of the paint that I peeled off. And again, this is decoration for the party. So this is class of 2021 in that same metallic vinyl. Not the easiest to pull up. You can see here, I sped it up. It was very hard. And I'm just gonna lay it down and smooth it out. And that is it. This is so simple. You could do this with a saying, or if you were having a party and you wanted some decoration, but this is so easy and so quick. And I love this. I think this is gonna be a great addition for the party, and I am just super excited for the party. Super excited for all these projects though. Oh, I just love this so much. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider it. Also, let me know what your favorite DIY was. When you hit the bell, you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Please check out my community tab for my weekly upcoming lives. Another way to support my channel is buymeacoffee.com. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. If you like cleaning, cooking, and decorating, please check out my Freckled Mom at Home channel. I have all these links down in my description. I'd love to know who's ready for fall, or do you want more summer? Let me know. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.